cross now to Valérie Dekimpe, France 24 environmental reporter. She's covering the summit for us in Dubai. Valérie, good to see you again. Give us a briefing on what's happened so far since the summit has opened.
Well, COP28 President Al-Jaber, he just gave a relatively brief press conference in which he appeared quite optimistic and confident about the possible outcomes of COP28. He said, "I am more confident than ever that we will deliver an unprecedented result." He said he was laser focused on delivering maximum ambition. And he did mention one of the key issues of this COP as well is what we call the implementation gap. The fact that so many countries over the past few years have come forward with promises, with climate policies, but now it's really about how do we implement those policies. And that is something that will be, again, at the heart of this COP with the implementation gap. And one way of trying to address that issue is what we call the global stocktake. So it is a process that will end, a 2-year process that will end here at COP28. Essentially, the first review of how far the world has come in terms of battling climate change and what else needs to be done in the years coming forward in order to really address and meet the Paris Agreement goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees. And so this is happening 8 years after the Paris Agreement was signed back in 2015. And it is a bit of an important milestone and moment because we have another 7 years left before we really need to turn things around and reduce greenhouse gas emissions by at least 50% before 2030. So that is why, it's become a bit of a pivotal moment here at COP28. So he gave that press conference just now. Earlier today, the COP28 presidency was officially passed on to Al-Jaber from his predecessor, Egypt's Sameh Shroukri, officially opening the COP28 conference. And one of the key issues, themes that we're going to hear a lot of debate on is fossil fuels. How quickly will countries ditch their addiction to oil, gas, and coal? And are they willing to really make an agreement on the phasing out of fossil fuels? So that is essentially one of what's happened so far today. But again, another major announcement on loss and damage, Charlie. So a surprise announcement, really, because no one was really expecting this to happen on day one. So it was gavelled through just a few hours ago. And just to give you a bit of context, this loss and damage fund, essentially a fund meant to help developing nations, poor countries, restore from climate events, climate disasters. And to give you a bit of context, it was actually agreed back in COP27, the creation of the Loss and Damage Fund. And in the lead up to COP28, diplomats agreed on a pre-draft of what this deal could actually mean, and the details, the details of what exactly this fund would entail. So who would actually contribute, who can actually access funding from this fund, and just operational details as well as the governing body of this loss and damage fund. So this has really come as a major surprise, major satisfaction for developing nations that have been fighting for this for decades. And the fact that it was gavelled through just on day one is really quite rare, as usually this tends to happen once leaders have actually arrived at the COP summit. So again, climate leaders very much pleased about this announcement.
Valérie Dekimpe, thank you for your reporting and keeping us updated throughout the day. Talk to you soon.